Captain Marcus Rust Rodriguez stood in the shadow of his creation, watching Imperial Admiral Voss's face drain of color through the view screen. The pristine white hull of the Imperial Sovereign gleamed against the stars, but it was dwarfed by the massive, patchwork beast floating beside it, a ship that shouldn't exist, built from materials that shouldn't work. "Impossible," Voss whispered, his aristocratic composure finally cracking. That abomination was built from garbage. Literal refuse from our shipyards." Russ grinned, running his scarred hand along the bridge console made from salvaged mining equipment. "You're right, Admiral. Every bolt, every plate, every wire came from your trash heaps. The Empire's been dumping their worthless scraps on Junkyard Station for 50 years. Guess what? One civilization's garbage is another's treasure." The story had begun 3 years ago, when the Galactic Empire had finally grown tired of the independent salvage colonies cluttering their pristine space lanes. Their solution was elegant in its cruelty. Dump all their industrial waste, failed experiments, and outdated technology on the asteroid mining stations, then leave the colonists to make do with the refuse. What they hadn't counted on was Chief Engineer Zara Khan. "Captain," Zara's voice crackled through the comm from the engine room. "The fusion core is purring like a content cat. That defective antimatter containment unit the Empire threw away? Turns out it wasn't defective. It was just too advanced for their standard systems to interface with." The Scrapyard Revenge was a masterpiece of desperate ingenuity. Her hull was built from decommissioned mining platforms, welded together with salvaged industrial fabricators. Her weapons systems were cobbled together from failed Imperial prototypes, experimental plasma cannons that had been discarded because they consumed too much power, railgun arrays that were deemed unreliable because they fired too fast. "Sir," called out Navigator Chun from her station built into a repurposed asteroid scanner, "we're detecting 47 Imperial vessels moving to intercept the entire 7th Fleet." Rust Schmoil widened. "Just 47? They're not taking us seriously enough." The truth was, every worthless component the Empire had discarded told the story. The supposedly unstable reactor core from a failed Dreadnought project actually produced 3 times the energy output of standard Imperial drives. It had been scrapped not because it didn't work, but because it worked too well for the Empire's cautious engineering standards. The malfunctioning shield generators created overlapping defensive fields that were impossible to penetrate with conventional weapons. "Admiral Voss," Rust broadcast across all frequencies. "You want to know the real joke? Every piece of junk you dumped on us was actually cutting-edge technology. Your engineers were just too scared to use it. The Imperial fleet opened fire first, their pristine formation unleashing coordinated volleys of energy weapons. The Scrapyard Revenge absorbed the assault without flinching, her mismatched shields flaring in a rainbow of colors as different technologies interfaced in ways their original designers never imagined. "Return fire," Russ commanded calmly. What happened next would be studied in military academies for generations. The Scrapyard Revenge didn't just fight. She tore through the Imperial formation like a metallic hurricane. Her weapons, built from components that had been deemed failures, performed with devastating effectiveness. The railguns that fired too fast shredded Imperial shields before they could adapt. The plasma cannons that consumed too much power punched holes through capital ship hulls like paper. "My God," Voss gasped as his flagship shuddered under the assault. "What have you built?" The transmission cut to static as Elena's world exploded into light and silence. But across the galaxy, on 1,000 hidden worlds, free minds received her message. The rebellion that would reshape the stars had begun. Born from the moment the galaxy finally saw the darkness that had been hiding beneath its golden mask. The age of false peace was ending. The age of true freedom was about to dawn.